Welcome back. Let's have a talk, you and I, about the map changes that are happening or not happening in ARK Survival Evolved. I made a video when I first heard about the changes, and then I made a video a couple of days after I heard those changes weren't happening. And I thought I was done, but I'm not done because it's been a couple of days after that, and I'm still thinking about it because I didn't properly articulate why it's bothering me. So, let's jump into this. At first, if you're new to this, the developers then announced that they were going to make changes to the map. They were extending the snow biome, creating a forest biome, modifying some swamp biomes, and they also introduced a new dinosaur, but my focus was on the biome changes. The reason why is because they suggested, due to the map changes that were incoming the end of the month, that people should move their valuables out of those areas to ensure that they're not destroyed. Now, ARK allows players to play as a single player on their computer, set up private servers, and there are official servers which allow players to play player versus player with PvP interaction, meaning that players can combat each other and buildings can be destroyed. Of course, if you're playing on a private server, you can have a PvE setup, which is what I'm playing on. There is no PvP on the server that I'm playing on. It's more of a build server than a PvP server. So think about a sandbox game like EVE Online or Minecraft with dinosaurs. That's what ARK Survival is like. The player can be playing as player versus environment, but regardless of where the player is playing, all of the players share the same static map. Quality game design would mean ensuring that the maps are balanced for both PvP and PvE. Also note that ARK is a survival game, meaning that the environment is meant to be hostile. So what's the problem? The controversial part of the changes was an area called Hidden Lake, which is heavily protected naturally due to the game map design. The game developers created an area on the map with stone walls that cannot be destroyed. Being generous, these walls surround approximately about 80% of the area, making it 80% naturally defended with natural walls that cannot be destroyed because of the map design. Now, Hidden Lake, let me be clear about this, is not a big deal on PvE servers or as a single player. However, on official servers, there are tribes in this area that cannot be removed because the base is so heavily defended due to the natural walls that cannot be destroyed. Not only is Hidden Lake itself ridiculously defended, but the areas around it have a huge boost to defense because of the map design. I've been told that there are tribes that have held this area for months, and there is no end in sight of them being defeated for the area. This is not fun on a PvP map, in a PvP environment. Now, this is not an area for new players to get started and then move on as they grow stronger in the game. This area shines for high-level players who can make metal bases and turrets. Add aggressive dinosaurs to the mix, and I'm sure you're getting my point. When the developers announced this area was being turned into a snow biome, the challenges of living in a cold environment was a fair trade-off, in my opinion, for an area that is this heavily defended due to the map design. Hidden Lake being in a cold environment would cause the area to lose its appeal to many players. I was impressed they were changing it. I was impressed they were balancing the map. fixing an area of the map that is more naturally defended than the area created for new players, Newbie Island. So what happened? Not long after the first announcement, a second one was made saying their announcement was inaccurate and confusing and included a map that showed where the actual changes were taking place. There's a big difference in the changes. I took a couple of days to think about these changes before I made a video about it, and I guarantee you, if you do a search for base building recommendations, as a new player on YouTube, you will find that the Hidden Lake is the most popular area recommended for obvious reasons. Of course, if you are playing on official servers, you'll never get it. And that's, a shame. Now keep in mind that the first announcement affected the main base on the server I play on, because we're right in that area. One of the swamp biome changes was right next to the area I picked for my personal base. So I sympathize with people who had to move, but the map is unbalanced. It's better to fix it now than waiting until later. Now let me be clear about something. The map is unbalanced, and the tribes dominating the area on official servers, they know it. They know it. And anyone complaining about the map changes obviously forgot, or worse, think they're exempt from the big warning on the purchase page for ARK that is in alpha. It says, note, this early access game is not complete and may or may not change further. If you are not excited to play this game in its current state, then you should wait to see if the game progresses further in development. In other words, let me give you some cheese to go with your wine in regards to balancing a map that is obviously unbalanced in one area. So what's my problem with the backpedaling? Everyone makes mistakes. But it's how the mistake is handled and corrected. That's what people tend to remember the most. How many game developers have made the mistake of not being able to balance PvE and PvP gameplay? As a player, nothing is more annoying than having your game environment changed on a released game because the game developer needs to balance the gameplay for a playstyle that shouldn't affect you. While ARK is in alpha, this is the time to balance the map. In my opinion, it's ridiculous that a tribe feels on a world PvP map playing on a PvP server in a survival game, they can and should dominate an area indefinitely. The fun of PvP is war, trying to take over an area. Look at the epic battles that have happened in EVE Online. Areas are not hard to penetrate because the developers made the map overpowered in an area. Those epic battles happened because players worked hard to create a strategy to overthrow well-established corporations. My problem? If they don't fix it now, will they ever fix it? Let's keep it real. Who wants to hear about a change in this area after May 30th? No one. Now is the time to do it, since they brought it up in the first place. Is this a sign of what's to come? The inability to stand behind a decision made to correct a mistake? Was it a mistake to add a naturally defended area to a world PvP map being played on PvP servers in a survival game that's not even a newbie area? I hope that wasn't the intent of the map design. If it is, I'm concerned about other upcoming map changes. I'm assuming quality of life changes will be coming soon to ARK. Creating and building in ARK is painful. It's not fun at all. Block placement is not smooth and fluid in comparison to other games, sandbox games, even if the player uses mods. The problem using mods like this is the uncertainty of the mods working in the future and how the potential removal of these mods would impact building design. I'm hoping the developers make building more enjoyable and creative. Actually, the quality of life change would be perfect to add along with making map or terrain changes. They complement each other. Yes, your area might change, but rebuilding would be a much more enjoyable experience. So what can we do? So the area's not going to be turned into a snow biome. They back down on that. What else can be done? Well, the game developers could make a terrain change around Hidden Lake. Make the area flatter. Problem solved. The appeal for the area would diminish, the biome does not change, and it's not like the tribes in the area don't have access to metal. The true beauty of this: tribes could be ready when the servers first came up to invade because the area would be vulnerable. The tribes who have been sitting pretty for months would actually have to work hard to hold it. Epic battles and awesome YouTube videos would be created of these experiences to watch for weeks, creating more of an allure to pull in new players. Going forward, Hidden Lake would be contested like the rest of the map. Each server would have its own story. Another solution is to put divides within the stone walls, gaps where tribes would have to build walls to secure the area. The area could still be hidden, yet vulnerable. Fixing the map makes the map match the description of the game. The game is described as a PvP survival shooter with an aggressive temperament. Come on now. That's my thoughts on the map changes and not changes. I hope that they do something with the map because it's not balanced. The tribes that are in those areas know that it shouldn't be like that. Deep down, they know. I really hope that the game devs extend the map, make it bigger. I understand why there are static maps. They're easier to balance. As a player, it would be better to have random generating maps because it gives you more replayability, because each area, it's not static. So if we're going to have a static map, I don't think that it's too much to ask that it's balanced. So let me know what you think. Do you think that that area is overpowered? Do you think that that area would be a good newbie area? Do you think that it should stay the way that it is? Does it not bother you at all? Do you play on the official servers? I can't. I'm going to just tell you straight up. I did something in the game that I'm going to be sharing with you shortly that would make it impossible for me to play on there's just no way. I don't have the patience. So I give props to people who play on the official servers, and that's why I'm fighting this so hard, because you deserve a balanced map. You deserve it. You've earned it. The shit you guys go through. I have no words. So I'm going to bat for you guys because I think you deserve it. And I think all the players deserve a kick-ass map, the best map. And I think as a community, we can all work together to help the developers create one. So, okay, that's it for this one. Thank you for watching. Follow me on Twitter, TYME, to find out what I'm working on before I put up the video. And I will see you guys in the next one.